First of all, Lashni, thank you so much for doing this and for being here. So as far as my understanding is, your current position is you are a senior sourcing specialist in IT with San Manuel.
Correct.
Wonderful. And then prior to that, you were working in healthcare with Loma Linda, and you had various different positions in Loma Linda University, which is actually a big deal to a lot of my students at Cal State, because for the most part, that's like the dream job. Everyone really wants, everyone's like, dare I dream one day I'll be at Loma Linda. So what I was hoping you can do for me and for all of us right now is please you give us a really good introduction of yourself, and then we can get into a conversation about what you do at your current position, and then let's share your story from college all the way to Loma Linda and your journey through Loma Linda, because I'm pretty sure people are dying to hear about how you got into Loma Linda and what you did.
Of course. Sure. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much. I'm honored. I felt honored to be able to pave the way for students, because I once was there. I once, questioned if I was doing the right thing. But I just rest assured to all of you, you're doing the right thing. One thing I can say is to stay the course. So just a little bit of my background. When I entered into Cal State San Bernardino, my major was healthcare management, health science with an emphasis on healthcare management. Once I realized that I was unable to pass the biology classes, I'm going to be completely candid, I had to switch my major to a business management with a concentration in management. So I did, because I was almost towards the end of my healthcare management. I took enough classes to be able to get a healthcare management certificate. So I went ahead and obtained that. And I mean, my journey throughout CBU was great. I loved CBU. So while I was at CBU, I was already working at Loma Linda, just so you're aware. The way that I got my foot in the door at Loma Linda, because it is very hard, I'm not going to lie. Most of these hospital positions are very hard, but I am going to give you a trick at the end of the video to help. My father, he worked for Loma Linda, and he just referred me to, I started off as a pharmacy tech. And let me tell you, it was rewarding. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the core values at Loma Linda, about compassion and just empathy and excellence, and just starting from the ground up. But I knew, even being in that position for 6-7 years, that wasn't going to be my end goal. So I want to say that I'm the type of person that I am. I'm very determined. If you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to prove to you that I can. And I just stayed the course. I would constantly apply. I was always updating my resume. While I was at Loma Linda, even though I was an internal candidate, it was very difficult. Like I'm telling you, I was at Loma Linda for about 7 years. And it wasn't until that 7th year that I finally was able to get my next position, which was the central scheduler. Now, at this point, I was just trying to build my resume. At the same time, while I was at Loma Linda as a pharmacy clerk, I held other jobs. I worked for State Farm. I worked for the Standard Hotel. And this was just to build my resume, because I knew I needed to have some type of customer service experience. Just experience, period, is what they're looking for. One thing I know that I had to do was at least keep Loma Linda, and I knew that I had to get a degree. So that's why I went to Cal State San Bernardino. And then after my pharmacy clerk position, I got my central scheduling position. I held that position for 2 years. And then I applied for supply chain. I applied for a health equipment assistant position. And in that position, I would say that working for supply chain at Loma Linda changed my career. It changed who I am. I learned so much. And it was because I applied. The hiring manager at the time, she liked my resume. She liked my longevity. So that's where I go back to stay the course, because a lot of these employers want to see if you are going to stay. You know what I mean? They don't want to put their time into training you and building you up for you to just leave. So yeah, that was one thing that she valued, and obviously, other things that I had on my resume, but she took a chance on me. I never had any supply chain experience other than classes I took from, my bachelor's. From there, she quickly wanted to promote me. I was promoted, I think within 6 months. I think it was within a year I was promoted. And then I was promoted again, and it was all within the same department. So all in all, I want to say it definitely was difficult. I'm not going to lie. It was difficult getting into Loma Linda. But one thing that I did learn once I was an internal candidate, the best thing that you can do is invest in yourself. I've had people rewrite my resume multiple times. I've rewrote my resume multiple times. I've even paid for a company to do that. And I've noticed that when you do that, these companies know exactly what it is to make your resume stand out, to make your resume go through the algorithms of the HR department. If you're never going to reach that level if you don't invest in yourself. So that's one thing I will go ahead and just put out there. You have to invest in yourself. I've done it, and I'm sure I'm going to have to keep doing it as I progress in my career. So that's a tip. The resume rewriting company that I did use was Top Resume, and I will say, when I got my position as a central scheduler, that was from the resume I wrote on my own. Even the position for supply chain, when I got my foot in the door at supply chain, that resume I wrote on my own. But I will say, even after being at Loma Linda all these years, once I had Top Resume rewrite my resume, that's when I started getting interviews from other companies, because they used what I had on my resume, but they used it in a way that was going to make me more of what, I don't know what the word is, but I was more of I was a better candidate because of the way it was written, not because of I didn't have the skill set, but because the way I was presenting myself. I had to show what I would add as a value, as an asset to the company on my resume, other than just expressing my accomplishments and what I did. So they showed me how to do that. But I will say that those are just the top three things. Stay the course. Just don't give up. Those are just the main things I would say. It's a very fulfilling career, because just because your title says healthcare and management, it does not mean that you have to work in healthcare. Overall, it's a degree in management. So you can go anywhere. As you can see, I'm currently working at San Manuel as a senior sourcing specialist. And that is because of my years of experience that I've had at Loma Linda. And I will say I had other various interviews with City of Hope, IEHP, with this degree. So I mean, the possibilities are endless. And if this is something you want to do, I liked it because you could go either way. You could be strictly just healthcare, or you could be and be on the business side of healthcare, or you can just go into management in any industry. So I hope that helps. I hope that
helps a lot. I think you provided so much value. Wow, you gave the tips, you gave the story, you gave everything. That's so wonderful. Is there any maybe tips on, well, how would you say, did not networking play a role in your mobility throughout your career, or do you think it's mostly just investing in yourself and the resume writing and kind of showcasing your abilities in that way?
I think starting off, networking is always good, because a lot of times it is who you know. And I'm not going to lie, I got in because of my father. He knew someone at Loma Linda. But at the same time, it's I kept the job and I sustained the job because of my work ethic. You know what I mean? It was word of mouth. And my career prolonging was me. My dad wasn't there filling out my resume. My dad wasn't there. And I will say, when it comes, when I get to a point when I'm ready to move forward, or, just want to change up, I'm pretty crazy. I will fill out like 20 apps a day. Like I'm on it. If I feel like I want to see what else is out there, I'm consistent. So you just have to be consistent. If you get a rejection, fine. If you get the interview and they don't call you back, fine. Keep going. Let that just be the fuel to your fire. Let that just give you just the ounce of encouragement to just keep going. Like that's another thing that I will say. You have to stay consistent. And if you want something, you have to keep going. You have to keep going for it. Because I would say for every 10, 15 jobs I've applied to, I get a response from one or two or three. Mm-hmm. So then that means you have to keep doing that. And if that's something you're doing every day, you're gonna constantly be getting interviews. Like it got to a point that I had to keep track of the interviews that I had because I had so many coming in, and I was like, oh, what is this again? Oh, can you remind me of what that job was again? So that would be just another tip. Networking, definitely, I would say for me and for my experience, just the beginning of my career was about investing. And now I feel like it's about investing in myself and also networking. LinkedIn is really great. I think LinkedIn is so great. I get emails from recruiters or messages from recruiters all the time. Even just always remember, this is something that I learned from a director from Loma Linda. You are going to be you're being interviewed every day. You have to remember how you're presenting yourself, how you are working. You're being interviewed every day. Even when you don't think someone's paying attention to you, even when you don't think, oh, my boss is not here, okay, let me just slack off. No. Always put your best foot forward. Always just give it your all and understand that people are watching you. Even when you don't think they're not, they are. So I would say it goes hand in hand, networking and investing in yourself. And even once you get that job that you've been wanting, always refresh your resume. Always have a backup plan. Always know, you know what I mean? The market can change at any moment. So just be prepared is what I would suggest.
I think that statement that you just gave, you're always being interviewed, whether or not you know it, that's huge. That's very powerful. Yeah. So it's really something that everyone should definitely keep in mind. People are always watching, so be your best, right? Your best version. One thing I do want to ask you before we go, you've been talking a lot about investing in yourself. In your opinion, what might be some of the best ways to a bachelor degree or an undergraduate student might be able to invest in themselves right now?
I would say internships, if you can find any kind of internships. I would say Loma Linda, because I do remember you mentioning that a lot of your students would love to work at Loma Linda. Volunteering. Mm-hmm. Volunteer. Like go up there and see what they have available to volunteer. And then when you get your foot in the door for volunteering, network, get yourself out there and network. Also, again, like I stated, top resume. I don't know if a lot of your students are working, but unfortunately, I was a student that had to work while I went to school. But I mean, for those students who are just in school and not working, I would say do the best you can to volunteer for these hospitals. They're looking for volunteers all the time. I would say there's a lot of courses that you can take as far as like sharpening your skills with Microsoft Suite, with Excel. I would say that even what is that? What is the like project management? Project management is also it's great. Say if you have time, any kind of certificate that you can get as well would be good. So like I said, project management, if you're into project management, whatever you're wanting to specialize in, however you can do that, that's always good to just add to your resume.
Thank you.
Another thing I would say also, being organized is it's a good takeaway as well.
Absolutely. More
Yeah.
organized. Well, it's been a pleasure, and I don't want to keep you too long because I know you do have to go and get your stuff. But I think that you provide so much value here, and this has been great. So
Yay.
yeah, thank you so much, and I will see you around.
Yes, and you let me know if you need anything at any
Oh,
time.
for sure.
Sorry it took
If
long.
it's okay, is it okay for me to add your LinkedIn profile maybe to the description? And if anyone wants to contact you or
Oh,
anything
of
like that, would that be
course.
fine?
Of
Okay,
course.
perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, no problem.
Okay.
Okay. You have a wonderful rest of your evening and take care.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.